Beneath the towering walls, among the ruins, Eren and his friends were chatting idly. They lived inside the outermost wall, Maria, beyond which lay a forbidden land. People said the world outside the walls had long been destroyed. Suddenly, a deep rumble echoed from afar. A colossal figure, taller than the wall itself, emerged from the distance. Tiny humans looked like ants before it. There was no chance of resistance. Eren and his friends stood frozen, staring at the giant before them, and the old legends resurfaced in their minds. 100 years ago, titans had suddenly appeared and attacked humanity. 90% of humankind was devoured. Those who survived built 3 massive walls to protect themselves. Under their protection, humanity lived in peace for over a century. To the younger generation, the titans had become nothing more than myth. Eren and his friends were filled with longing for the world beyond the walls. They wanted to sneak up and take a look when the guards weren't watching. But then, a terrifying roar echoed through the air. The titan's roar shattered the air itself, and with it shattered a century of false peace. The impenetrable wall was kicked open in an instant. Countless titans poured in through the breach. The garrison soldiers rushed to fight back, but every wound the titans took healed within seconds. If even trained soldiers couldn't fight back, civilians stood no chance. All they could do was run for their lives. Eren and his friends did the same. That day, mankind remembered the terror of being ruled by titans. Everyone rushed toward a building that seemed safe. Eren was swept inside by the crowd, but Mikasa spotted a crying baby on the ground. Without hesitation, she broke from the crowd to save it. As the titan approached, those inside slammed the door shut without hesitation. People outside scattered in panic. Only Mikasa, clutching the baby, had no time to flee. She crouched down in despair. Eren tried to open the door to save her, but the others inside stopped him. He could only watch helplessly as it all unfolded. Suddenly, a deafening crash shook the building. Everyone trembled in fear. Eren seized the chance and rushed outside, but Mikasa was nowhere to be found. A second later, the titan's roar came from behind. The so-called safe house became everyone's grave in an instant. The once lively village was reduced to rubble. Only Eren's lone figure wandered among the ruins. Under the relentless titan assault, Wall Maria soon fell. The survivors retreated behind Wall Rose. The loss of land and flood of refugees drained their resources. To preserve what remained of humanity's hope, the government formed the Scout Regiment to reclaim the walls. Eren and Armin, both survivors, joined their ranks. The Corps also developed a new device, the vertical maneuvering equipment. It allowed movement through grappling hooks and gas-powered propulsion. This innovation greatly enhanced humanity's ability to fight titans. Through training, they learned that a titan's weak spot was the nape of its neck. Cutting it open meant a titan's certain death. The new recruits burned with passion and determination. They believed this battle would reclaim their lost home. Before departure, the commander shouted the rallying cry. Before long, the squad set out beyond Wall Rose. Since titans were extremely sensitive to sound, they moved with extra caution. However, not long after their departure, one of the soldiers sensed something strange. They carefully got off the vehicle to investigate the area. At that moment, Lil suddenly heard a baby crying. She immediately decided to rescue the infant. Worried for her safety, Eren followed right behind. As they entered an abandoned building, a strange transparent fluid dripped down onto Lil's head. They looked up, only to see a massive infant titan devouring something above them. Lil let out a startled gasp, and the titan baby began wailing loudly. The piercing cry made their eardrums ache, echoing through the still night. Eren quickly grabbed Lil and pulled her out of the building. The Scout Regiment members were startled by the noise. Their captain immediately prepared for battle, but most of the new recruits had never faced a titan before. Uncontrollable fear spread through the ranks. Just as the captain tried to regain control of the situation, a massive hand reached out from the shadows and grabbed him. The next second, a gigantic titan appeared, holding the captain in its jaws. Before anyone could process what they were seeing, Eren and Lil came running, screaming in terror. Behind them, a hideous titan was in hot pursuit. Noticing the chaos, the commander made a shocking decision. He ordered the truck carrying explosives to be evacuated first, leaving the new recruits to fend for themselves. Terrified, the recruits scattered in all directions. Their earlier courage and resolve were completely gone. Just then, a titan suddenly blocked their path. Just when all seemed lost, a lone figure appeared and instantly struck down the titan. It was Captain Shikishima, who had been on his way to join them. Moments later, another figure emerged, taking down another titan that was charging toward them. Eren froze when he saw that familiar silhouette. He couldn't believe it. Mikasa was still alive, and her connection with Shikishima seemed complicated. After finishing off the titans, the two quickly disappeared. The squad regrouped at a safe location to rest. As Eren was still lost in thought about Mikasa, a titan suddenly grabbed one of his comrades and swallowed him whole. Within moments, countless titans surrounded the squad. Everyone went into combat mode and launched an attack, but only Shikishima and Mikasa were capable of real combat. The rest of the recruits stood no chance against the towering monsters. Fear had already consumed their minds. Before long, more than half the squad was dead or wounded. Amid the chaos, Hange noticed that someone had driven off with the explosives truck. To her shock, it was one of their own female soldiers. She drove straight into the titan that had killed her lover. Blinded by revenge, she had thrown all caution aside. But the impact barely harmed the titan. Instead, it cost them their last supply of explosives. That meant the mission was now doomed to fail. Eren stood frozen, staring at the hell unfolding before him. He activated his vertical maneuvering gear and charged into the titan horde. Under Shikishima's guidance, he managed to kill one of them. But before he could even celebrate, a titan swung its arm and sent him flying. He crashed hard into the rubble, his legs snapping upon impact. Armin looked at the motionless Eren, worry filling his eyes. In the next instant, a massive hand reached out and grabbed him. Seeing this, Sasha quickly drew her bow and fired, but the arrows did nothing to harm the towering titan before her. As Armin was about to be devoured, Eren, driven by sheer willpower, forced himself to stand. He dragged his broken leg forward and managed to pull Armin to safety, but in doing so, he fell straight into the titan's jaws. All that was left before Armin was Eren's severed arm. By then, Eren had already slid into the titan's stomach. Surrounded by the corpses of fallen comrades, his resolve to eradicate every titan grew even stronger. At that moment, a titan approached Mikasa. Just as she raised her blades to strike, the titan's face suddenly twisted in agony. A moment later, its body exploded apart. Out of the steam rose another titan, one radiating overwhelming power. The founding titan's power within Eren had finally awakened. Under the stunned gazes of everyone around, the founding titan began attacking the others. Against a titan with intelligence and combat skill, the mindless ones stood no chance. Yet their numbers were overwhelming. In the end, the founding titan collapsed from exhaustion. When the soldiers cut open the nape, they were stunned to find that the human inside was Eren himself. His arms and legs had miraculously healed, but the idea that a human could turn into a titan was seen as a grave threat to those in power. So Eren was immediately taken into custody by the commander. Centuries ago, the sudden emergence of titans nearly wiped out humanity. Only the massive walls built by their ancestors had preserved the last remnants of mankind. To maintain order within the walls, the rulers restricted knowledge and weapon development. Thus, humanity lived in fragile peace for centuries. But Eren's existence now threatened to shatter that balance. Just as the commander was about to order Eren's execution, Armin stepped in front of him. As his closest friend, he could never just watch him die. But the commander cared nothing for Eren's life. All that mattered to him was protecting the ruling elite. Just when it seemed Eren's fate was sealed, a deafening crash echoed from above. A titan clad entirely in armor dropped from the sky, crushing the commander beneath it. The armored titan grabbed Eren and attempted to take him away. The soldiers rushed forward to stop it, but the titan swatted them aside effortlessly. The squad suffered heavy losses in an instant, and just like that, Eren was taken away. When Eren regained consciousness, he found himself in a strange room. Captain Shikishima told him he was the one who rescued him. Then he revealed the truth about the titans. Centuries ago, scientists had conducted experiments on humans, giving birth to these terrifying creatures known as titans. Countless humans were transformed into titans. A brutal war between humans and titans soon followed, but humanity stood no chance against such overwhelming power. They built the Great Walls to protect what little remained of mankind. However, Shikishima believed it was all a conspiracy by the rulers. The existence of titans kept humanity living in fear and made them easier to control within the walls. Centuries passed, and humanity had long forgotten the terror of being ruled by titans. Curiosity about the world beyond the walls began to grow. Some even dreamed of venturing out to explore it. But that was the last thing the rulers wanted to happen. And just then, titans reappeared and destroyed the walls again. It was clear that the rulers had something to do with it. If people didn't choose to change, they would remain trapped behind those walls forever. That's why Fukushima planned to use Eren's titan power to overthrow the rulers. After hearing everything, Eren felt as if his entire life had been turned upside down. He decided to follow his own instincts and joined Fukushima's plan. Fukushima took Eren to meet the comrades he once fought alongside. They carried well-crafted weapons with them, firearms made by humans before the war began. Once everyone was ready, they set out on their mission. Meanwhile, the remaining squad members were few in number, but their mission to seal the wall had to continue. The biggest problem, however, was that they had no explosives left. Then Armin suddenly remembered an unexploded bomb on a mountain behind their village. With a bit of modification, it might still be usable, so they immediately drove toward the mountain. After Armin's adjustments, they mounted the missile onto their vehicle, but on their way back, the two groups crossed paths. Fukushima immediately decided to seize the missile and use it to blow up the inner wall to change the world. But when he revealed his plan to let titans flood into the inner walls, everyone was shocked by his madness. Even Eren stood frozen in disbelief. He had always thought Fukushima's goal was to seal the outer wall, not destroy it. Eren had witnessed too many innocent deaths, so he could never agree with Fukushima's plan. The others too believed Fukushima had completely lost his mind. Eren drew his blade and charged forward, but he was no match for Fukushima. He was knocked down over and over again. Seeing that no one could understand his grand vision, Fukushima decided to eliminate them all. Suddenly, a steel cable shot toward a nearby tower. It was Mikasa, trying to cover the others. She pulled the crumbling tower down with all her strength. The bomb beneath it detonated instantly. Mikasa sacrificed her life to buy Eren and the others precious time to escape. But as they mourned her loss, Fukushima appeared once more. Before everyone's shocked eyes, he drew his blade and slowly drove it into his own body. His body began to change grotesquely. He was the armored titan. the very one who had once taken Eren. Seeing this, Eren tried to do the same to awaken his Titan power, but Jean stopped him in time. No one knew whether it would even work, or if it would kill him instantly. The team had no choice but to use their vertical maneuvering gear to fly across. Sasha was the first to strike, shooting an arrow straight into the armored Titan's eye. While the Titan was blinded, Eren took the chance and sliced through the Titan's Achilles tendon. Jean seized the moment and charged forward, but the armored Titan quickly recovered and struck back at him. At the last second, Eren stepped in and blocked the attack for Jean, but the impact left his fate uncertain. The armored Titan didn't stop. He moved straight toward the missile. Just as he was about to grab it, a burst of green light flared behind him. Eren had transformed into the founding Titan once again. The two Titans finally clashed head-on, but Fukushima's battle experience allowed him to completely overpower Eren. Eren was kicked hard and sent crashing to the ground. As the others watched in fear, Eren grabbed a helicopter blade from the rubble and swung it at Fukushima. The strike landed hard, wounding him badly. Eren roared and unleashed one final blow. Fukushima's body was slammed deep into the ruins. The deafening roar echoed through the desolate city. When the dust settled, only Eren remained standing atop the wreckage. With the battle finally over, Eren picked up the missile from the vehicle. He planned to blow up the wall and seal the breach, but the fierce battle had drained nearly all his strength. After placing the missile at the detonation point, he collapsed, reverting to his human form. Just as Armin finished setting up the missile, the commander suddenly appeared atop the wall. He warned them to hand over Eren, or everyone there would die. But those who had seen the truth would never surrender so easily. They refused to live as livestock trapped within the walls. One day, they would destroy all Titans and see the real world beyond with their own eyes. But the commander merely sneered at their defiance. Moments later, the wall began to glow with a fiery orange light. The truth hit them. The colossal Titan who had once shattered the wall was the commander himself. Fukushima had been right all along. Titans were tools created by the rulers to control the people. For their own selfish gain, they had sacrificed countless innocent lives. Furious, the squad charged forward. But the colossal Titan's body radiated scalding steam, so hot that even approaching felt like melting alive. Jean gritted his teeth and rushed through the heat, but was instantly crushed by the Titan's massive hand. The death of his comrades sent Eren into a blind rage. He launched himself toward the colossal Titan once more. This time, he soared behind the Titan, enduring the unbearable heat. Even as his boots melted away, he refused to stop. Driven by sheer will, Eren reached the Titan's nape. But just as he plunged his blade down, the Titan recovered and caught him mid-strike. Victory was within reach, and then gone in an instant. The crushing despair tore a scream from Eren's throat. At that desperate moment, Fukushima appeared, climbing up with the missile in his arms. Perhaps he had finally seen hope in Eren. If his path had been wrong, then he would let the right person finish the mission. A thunderous explosion shook the battlefield. The colossal Titan was finally destroyed. The falling debris sealed the breach in the wall. Eren and Mikasa leaned on each other as they stood atop the Great Wall. For the first time, they saw the world beyond. The wind blowing through the gap carried the scent of freedom, but deep down they knew this was only the beginning.